Recording. Here we go.
We are recording, so we are live. It is This Fan's View. We apologize for a little delay in the action tonight, not being able to go live with you guys. But I'm Lauren. This is Anthony. He's new to the show tonight. We have Carl, my dad, Mario, and John. And our special guest tonight is everybody's favorite flyer, Bernie Perrant.
Would you repeat? Thank you.
All right. Take it away. Who's got our first question?
Well, we also you forgot your mom.
Oh, sorry. Hi, Mom. Hi.
So I know we have a guest, and it's Flyers great Bernie Perrant, but it's your mom's birthday, and
It
you
is.
forgot, So let me introduce Sue to the show, and also Bernie's better half is also there. Gini is there. Hi,
There you
Gini.
go.
So now that we got all the introductions out of the way, we apologize for those technical difficulties. Bernard Marcel Perrant, you just celebrated a pretty good birthday, right?
Yeah.
25th.
And by the way, when I see my wife on the screen, maybe we should just focus on her. She looks pretty good. Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with you.
It's amazing. 55 years went by fast, man. Yeah.
So give us a little backstory on the gnocchis, because that's a great video that went viral last week.
Well, go ahead. A few years back, I asked God to give me some challenges to keep me healthy, right? And I got a good Italian family. So they're teaching me how to cook, but it's not working very good, is it, babe? No.
What, your cooking skills?
Cooking skills.
Oh, they need some work.
Yeah.
So let's start with the pronunciation. So give us the Bernie pronunciation of gnocchi.
Yankee.
Oh, my
French version. How about
The French version of the gnocchi. I got you.
that?
All right. Okay. So
Let's
you
move
got
on.
to start somewhere, right?
I love you, buddy. You're the best. Yeah.
And by the way, you looked absolutely stunning in your birthday hat. I mean, that was tremendous.
Isn't that great? You know what? My wife is so creative.
We know how to
Yeah.
party.
Yeah.
We party. I told her, Frenchie, we're going to party like the Kennedys tonight.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's it.
There you go. Very cool. Very cool. Guys, any questions for Bernie?
Well, I want to know, how was the parade, since you guys were one of the first teams, in a while for Philadelphia to bring a parade down the streets? Is there any
Well-
interesting stories that you have?
Well, I have two stories. The first one is when in 1967, when the team was formed, we had 25, I believe 25 players, former, from the existing teams, and they invited everybody in September to get on the float on Broad Street to wave to the crowd, to introduce ourselves. My God, we had more people on the float than we had watching us. Yeah. But the amazing part is 7 years later, think about this, we won the Stanley Cup and we had 2 million people.
Right.
It's just incredible. Yeah. And you know what, let me share a little bit about, when I skated around the ice with Bob Clark, holding the Stanley Cup, and we have Dave Schultz, because everybody jumped on the ice, and Dave was knocking guys down to get us through. It was funny. And then in the dressing room, we had maybe 200 people, and you couldn't really savor the Stanley Cup because there were so many people, which was great, by the way. Now, the second year when we won against Buffalo was on the road. So we skated around the ice again with the Stanley Cup, did celebration, the dressing. And then And then when we got on the plane, the charter plane back to Philly, they put this beautiful trophy in the middle of the aisle, of the plane, and nobody said anything for a half hour. What a beautiful, I'll never forget this. Awesome.
So let's go back to the parade. I've got a question, and I can't believe I've never asked you this question, but you were talking about, I guess, consuming some alcoholic beverages, and you had to go relieve yourself, and you had a private escort into somebody's house for this. Am I good so far?
You seem to be well informed. Why don't you keep it going? Yeah.
My question to you is, did you ever get to meet the police officer afterwards, after the parade years later? Did you ever get to meet up with him? Did he ever want to, meet you? Anything you can add to that story?
Well, he tried a couple of times to put the handcuffs on me, but it didn't work. Yeah. But it was, it was awesome walking through a crowd like 2 million people to go to the bathroom. I'm very, very grateful to the people. And as a matter of fact, they mounted the toilet on the wall, for God's sakes. It's just a story. It's incredible. Also, it was so much fun. And as a matter of fact, that year, I believe it was when I believe we were on the float then. And I was sitting next to our friend, our buddy, Frank Rizzo. Remember Frank?
Yes, the mayor.
The mayor. What a great guy, And I'm sitting next to him, and we're waving to people, and Frank's looking up the buildings all the time. So I asked him, I said, Frank, what are you looking at? True story. He said, I'm looking for snipers. I said, really? I got up and I said, I made enough save. You're on your own, buddy. Yeah. What a great man. Loved him. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Anybody else? Mario, you got any questions?
Well, we got a question from Nicole Jefferson online. She wants to know, of all the shots you faced, who had the hardest shot?
Okay.
His wife.
Yeah, my wife. It became my wife, but before I met Gini with Bobby Hull, of course, from Chicago, and his shot was clocked at 120 miles an hour. Okay, about this.
Wow.
And even today, the big guys, the big players, they can only reach 105, I think, 108 miles an hour.
Yes.
And God, when I never forget when he would come across the blue line, and he had the curved blade a little bit, big shoulders, and he would wind up between the blue line and the circle. I looked at him, he looked at me, everything came in slow motion, and I would pray every time, Lord, let him score so he would miss me. Very, very dangerous. Yeah.
Now that's 120 miles with the old wooden sticks, not the fiberglass that they have now.
Right.
Oh, my God, yeah. And plus the equipment, we didn't have, the goalies didn't have the protection that they have now. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was my next question was how would you like to be playing goalie now with the equipment that they?
Well, you know what, let's put it this way, they have great protection. They really do. And the only problem I have is the pads that they're using. They're not very thick, but they're very
Not flexible. They're stiff.
they're not flexible. So when you watch your goalies play today, they never, not seldom, they never turn their feet to redirect the rebounds to the corner because they can't. They're so stiff, on your legs. So this is why the system they came up with dropping to their knees, which, by the way, they're very successful doing this. But to me, I never played with that equipment, so I would prefer to play with the equipment I had in those days.
Well, interesting.
Now, speaking along those lines, Carter Hart plays the best when he's on his knees.
Yeah.
Am I correct? I mean, is that a strength of his game?
Yeah, well, what he does is he has always said about him, he has a God-given talent, which is anticipation of the plays, which is very, very important. He anticipates well, and he, you know what, he won't commit himself until the guy shoots. So it's very, very important. You see a lot of goaltenders today, very good, by the way. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not criticizing. I'm just making a statement here. They hit their knees way before the guy takes a shot. So if the puck changes directions, then you're not in position to challenge a shooter because you're on your knees. And this is what Hart does so well. He anticipate the plays, then he drops to his knees and makes a save. Very, very good. They're going to win the Stanley Cup with him. Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead.
I was listening to the NHL Network today on Sirius, and they were talking about him quite a bit. You know, especially, you know, if the season, you know, does happen to get picked up again and they play some form of a playoff format. But what kind of shape can these players? I mean, I know they're athletic. I know they're in the best shape, but there's nothing like game shape.
Of course.
You know, you're talking about a month away from game action, not even being able to skate on ice. I mean, what is, you know, where's that going to put these guys?
Well, one good thing is everybody will be in the same situation.
True.
You know?
Yep.
You know, look at this, but the magic of the game, will it be the same as if the season went on? I don't think so. You know, because they, like you said, rightfully so. If you don't play, you don't practice for a couple of months. It has, you know, you're great athletes, but it has to affect you. No question.
Yeah, for sure. For
And
sure.
who do you think it would affect more, the players or the goalies?
Well, you know what? That's you know, it's a good question. If your anticipation is, I think, would affect more the players than the goalies, because goalies, let's face it, you don't have to skate. You know, you have to make sure you have your balance. You anticipate well where the plays are going to be. So I would say, you know, would benefit the goalies, I think.
Even with reaction time and stuff like that, you wouldn't be affected too much?
Well, you know, if you anticipate well, it's going to put you at the right place at the right time. You don't have to move that much. Yeah.
Interesting. So you think it'll affect the Flyers a lot since they were on a roll? Like, even like you said, everybody's going to be the same, but for them coming back, it's going to be hard to get back on that hot streak they were at.
Well, you know what? The Flyers, I love the Flyers, you know, and for a lot of ways, they, from the goalies on up to defense, forward, coaches, you know, GM, you know, they've done a wonderful job. They have a lot of good young players, and, you know, and the older players, you know, they're leaders, you know, they're good hockey players. So you know what? It's a shame. Number one, I'm going to say this. It's a shame that this season had to end the way it did.
Right.
You know, I'm not saying the playoffs now, but I'm saying the season,
right,
because at that time, you know, they were playing so well as a team was incredible. So hopefully they'll get back on the same page and bring your Stanley Cup where it belongs, in Philly.
Yes, that'd be nice.
I'm not going to put you on the spot and ask you what you think the commissioner should do. This is strictly my opinion, because I just think you're going to put all these players at risk for injuries to try to get back on the ice and play at a high level. My personal opinion, I'd rather just see them scrap the rest of the season and just start a whole new season when we're ready to go in October. I just think, you know, trying to put a format together that's going to work for everybody, and then you're going to play in a stadium with no fans. It's just my opinion, and I'm a huge hockey fan. I want hockey back in my life, you know, like now. I just don't see rushing this thing, you know, to the point where you gotta have playoffs to figure out who wins the Stanley Cup.
Well, you know, you have a good point there. And then I read a couple of times that they were talking about having the playoffs in a neutral rink. You know, it's almost like the Olympics. you know, the neutral rink. So then it takes, you know what it takes away from I can only speak for that much for Philly because I played most of my career in Philly, but you have 20,000 people, great fans cheering for you. You go to neutral rink, you won't get that, you know, and it has to affect teams. And in the way I agree with you that they get, but you know, at the same time, you have to remember that a lot of sponsors are involved with this. You know, there's a lot of money involved too. So they have to keep this in consideration also.
Yeah, it's a tough, you know, it's a tough decision.
I wouldn't want to be the commissioner. That's a tough call because no matter what decision he makes, it's never going to be. Somebody's not going to be happy with it. So.
Yeah, it's not going to be the right decision.
Well,
Exactly.
and that's not only for hockey, that's for all the sports that are involved, because you got the NBA that's involved, you got MLB that's involved, and now you're approaching NFL. So it's going to affect all of them as far as I can see.
Well, again, if you look at all sports, you put them together, you're talking about billions and billions of dollars.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that you have to be careful with your decisions when you're looking at that money. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough decision for all sports involved.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
You know, you start to put something together where they play, you know, they play August into September, and now you're jeopardizing the new season.
Yep.
You know, it pushes that back. So now you've got, you know, a problem, you know, for 1920, and now you're going into 2021, you know, and it's just, I don't know. I if I had to make a decision, and I know, you know, there's a lot of sponsors involved, there's a lot of money, but I just, you know, I'd rather see them scrap the rest of this year and start fresh in September and October with a new season.
Yeah, you have a good point. I am leaning that way too. And when it comes to money or sponsorship or whatever, there's a lot of creative ways you could get back what you're losing this year. You know, because it's
Sure. Yep.
It's every team. It's not just one team. It's
Right.
a whole. Yeah.
So what do you do? Scrap the season and nobody gets a Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
You know what? I'll that goes like this. Let's have the Flyers win the Stanley Cup.
Well,
They had the most points, right? They had the most points when
They say to give it to the Boston Bruins.
or no, who had Boston? The Bruins had the most points.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say you were starting to get a lot of fans from Boston liking you now with that comment, Carl.
Yeah, I know.
But
What was I thinking?
yeah, I think it's the Stanley Cup has to be won on the ice, and it's not and let it sit where it's sitting right now. I would think,
Right.
because hey, you know what? Let's face it. If I'm on the team and we win the Stanley Cup that way, and you get a Stanley Cup ring, I don't think I would feel the same way as the way I feel now with the 2 rings we have.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, you didn't win your 16 games to get there. You know,
Right.
no blood and sweat there.
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, Bernie, we have a question from somebody online who wants to know why you never painted your Flyers mask.
Why I never what?
Never painted your Flyers mask.
Well, you know what? I had 3 logos on it. If you look the first year, I had the 2 logos, one on each side. Second year, I had the 3rd one on top. You know, but at the time, to me, it wasn't you know a big deal. You know, let's put it this way. You know, and now I look at the mask that they're wearing. It's just incredible. They're so creative, and what to put on those masks is incredible. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, but to me, yours is iconic.
Well,
So,
you know, you're so kind. That's the way the game was then, and you know,
Right.
that's the game has changed. You know, also, you know, so but having said that, when I played for the half a year for the World Hockey League, my mask was painted like a flame.
Mhm.
Right. They did mention that. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, but you know, you're looking back and you say, hey, it was the right move at that time, you know. So, but like I said, the mask I'm looking at, it's just incredible, beautiful thing. Yeah.
Now, going back to the WHA with the Blazers, was that your idea on the mask, or did someone else suggest that for you? The
Well-
orange and yellow.
Well, you know what? That's I don't know why you're asking that question. I'm very creative. Of course, it was my idea. I'm just kidding.
I
No.
know you had a marketing director, and I know you had, you know, people, because my people called your people today to line this up. So, I mean,
They, you know what? No, we have some good creative people, and they came up with that design. It was awesome. Yeah, but to me, as a goalie, it's not but the mask. It's a beauty what they're doing. But I just, for me, it was just to have the 3 logos of the Flyers on it, and that was good enough for me. Yeah.
yeah, very
Yep.
cool. Very cool.
So with that, with your personality, if you were playing now, would you have it painted, or would you still stick with the 3 logos?
Well, you know what? I think you have to go. I guess times have changed. You know,
Right.
you have to go with the flow. The game changed, and you're talking about this just for an example how the game has changed. You know, you don't have the red line anymore. Just talking about the plays here, you don't have the red line, and which it creates a lot of great plays, by the way. But you don't have the red line. Before you had to go across the red line to make a play, and today you don't have to do this. And in front of the net, you can't take the players out of the play like we used to. You know, like the old days. So having said that, I refer to the mask again. Everything has changed. So you have to go with the flow. Yeah.
Go with the flow.
Go with the flow.
Just like we had to go with the flow tonight.
Yeah. I'm looking at you, Carl, and I agree with you. Yeah.
So what would you put on your mask then if you had it, if you were playing now?
Well, maybe I see where you're going with this. I would never put Carl's face on my mask. It's a definite one. Yeah.
It's been great having you. It's a great show. Thanks for coming.
That's all, folks.
Time for Gini now.
You're gonna have, you guys are the best. You guys are the best. So yeah, that's who knows what it would be. You know, we're just assuming, but who knows what it would be. I'm sure that would probably follow the
The trends, yeah.
the trend, you know, what's going on. Sure.
Well, there's been a couple of the recent Flyer goalies that have paid tribute to you, and you've been on their mask, which is very cool, very cool.
Oh, that of course I agree. You know, it's a beautiful thing. They, you know, when you look, guys, when you look at the career we had, and you know, I shared this with a lot of people. You know, and I was fortunate to win a few awards, you know, during the playoffs and at the end of the season. And realizing that, hey, those awards are nice to win. Don't misunderstand me. Very, very proud of it. But unless you have a great team, you don't win those awards. You know, so what it comes down to, I shared this with a lot of people in this world, you know, is you learn this as a young kid, as a player, that you learn to, if you want to be successful in life, you have to be part of a good team. You can't do it by yourself. So when you grow up, you get in the world of business. It's the same way. You surround yourself with good people, you're going to be successful.
Mario, you listening to that?
That's why I'm with you, Carl.
Just checking.
Or is that why you're with me?
I'm just checking in. I just want to see who's going to carry me. That's all.
Well, I think John and I got very, very broad shoulders.
Yeah, sure. Sure. Yeah, definitely.
I think I'm going to need a mask before this show's over.
Or a bag.
Yeah.
It won't be pretty, but it'll be good. Yeah.
John, would you like to go a little bit farther? What do I need a bag for?
Well,
You know, like when you're on an airplane, you need a bag to throw.
Oh. I thought you were my friend.
Well, no, I mean, you were just saying that, you know, it was getting a little bit deep in here.
Deep. Deep.
oh God.
So Bernie, what have you been doing through all this besides trying to make Italian food?
I missed that question. I'm sorry.
How have you been keeping yourself busy?
Mario, I hate to interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
But we are now Facebook Live.
All
Exactly.
right. There
We
we
just made
go.
it.
So, I mean, you know, it's 7:20, but hey, it worked. We're on. It's fine. It's still recording. So Mario, you can work your magic and cut the first half and we'll throw that on later. But we are live now. Better late than never, folks.
Well,
All right.
I'll add my 2 cents. The check just cleared.
So now I can introduce Mom because it's her birthday today.
There you go.
The
There you
difference.
go. And the screen never looks so good because it's now Bernie and Gini together.
There you go.
Yeah.
It just
Wow.
got infinitely better.
You know,
Much better.
you know, I have a story about this. 3 months ago, we got to introduce to us. Was it Carter Hart at the golf tournament? And he came up to me, young kid. He's 21 years old. Yeah, good-looking kid, about 6'1". He came up to me and he said, he goes like this. He said, "Wow." You know, I said, "My God, I made a big impression on him." He was looking at my wife.
No.
Yeah. He's a good kid. I love him. Yeah, awesome. Pretty. Look, there she is. Yes.
So, Gini,
Yes.
question for you. What have you guys been doing? I mean, it's been a few weeks now, and we're all bored out of our minds. And you know, I mean, you can only take the dog for so many walks. You know, what have you guys been doing? What have you been up to?
Well, as you mentioned earlier about the party hats and stuff, we try to make the best out of every situation. You know, it was Bernie's 75th birthday, and obviously, you know, it's a milestone, and we had plans, and we had big plans, and so forth with the family and friends, and so you know, what did we do? We had one of his favorite cakes we made, and we had party hats, and you know, we had fun with it, you know, and I think you guys saw on Facebook the videos that some former players, some sports casters made for us. Actually, my brother-in-law, Joe, put the videos together, and he did a tremendous job on that. And just, you know, I mean, we try to keep busy. Obviously, we have a new dog, puppy, and she definitely keeps us busy. It's amazing. She's growing every day. She gets bigger, and she's a handful. But we love her. She's unbelievable. And we also, in the midst of all this, we also I think I mentioned that we made a settlement on a property down the shore. So as soon as we signed the paperwork, all this craziness broke out. So we've been keeping busy with that, and of course we have fun with it. We have fun with the videos that we made of Bernie making gnocchi. And by the way, guys, Bernie's stay tuned because Bernie has something big cooking. And we are now Facebook. Oh.
That was me. Sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay. So we have something big cooking, and that'll be out soon. Bernie's got something up his sleeve that he's working on, and that we should know probably in about a month. So we're working on that as well. And you know what? We do a lot of reading, and stuff like that. You know, we try to get walks. We definitely work out, you know, because we're both recovering from back surgeries, as you well know. Right, Bern?
Oh, definitely.
And
How's all that going?
we're doing a lot of PT. You know, he's doing PT. You know, we're doing it at home, obviously, because that's what we can do. So walking either on the treadmill or outside if weather permitting, and you know, we've been doing good with that too. We've been so a little bit of everything. You know, you know, as you know, Bernie is the most positive person that you can talk to, and he does keep everything in perspective, and which, you know, we help each other in that respect. So it's great.
You know, having said that, also it's important. I share with people that in situations like this, you know, start visualizing things that you love to do in life, you know, and concentrate on this, and that keeps you, you know, it keeps you happy, you know. So it's very, you know, very, very important. Oh, here's our beautiful young. Yes. So that's, which is very, you know, very, very important to focus. For me, I love boating, you know, I do a lot of fishing down the shore, and for me, each individual has to do this, as far as I'm concerned. Focus on the things you love to do. Be careful at the same time, but focus. Imagination is a beautiful tool, you know. You could spend many hours enjoying yourself, pretending you're doing something. Beautiful thing.
So question on Sophie. So is Sophie a rescue? Is that what I read?
Sophia is a rescue.
Sophia.
Sophia Loren.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we weren't exactly looking for an Italian Mastiff just because I'm Italian. We weren't looking for an Italian Mastiff, and it just so happened that when we were talking to the people that, you know, our connections with the SPCA, as you know, we do a lot of work with the SPCA. We try to be involved as much as possible. They said we just got, because we want to have Sophia be a therapy dog, and in other words, be able to take her to the hospitals when we go visit hospitals, Children's Hospital. So she needs to get certified, and you know,
Okay.
so that's time. So
But
that's what we're gonna do.
yeah, we have a lot of work to do on her. Because I showed her your picture, darling. She started barking, so we have.
You got to start somewhere, right? You got to weed out the bad people.
So in fact, when they told us, they said we just got a cane corso in, you know, maybe, you know, and said, what's a cane corso? You know, we looked at each other, we said, and they said it's an Italian Mastiff, and so naturally, being a female, we had to name her Sophia Loren because it, you know, we had to, and she lives up to her name every day.
Yeah. So that I married within the family, a good Italian family. Now we have a dog.
He's talking with his hands. I don't know if you see him or not, but he's talking.
A dog from Italy. All right. And now my name of the boat used to be the French Connection. Are you ready for this? Guess what it's called now? The Italian French Connection.
Surprise.
It's a surprise, surprise. Yeah.
You're doing well, Bernie. Yeah.
You talking with your hands. You talking with your hands. Is that because you're in the Italian family now?
Oh, definitely. Yes.
Very cool. We getting any live questions? Yeah, we are.
We have quite a few. Someone is asking if Bernie has a favorite flyer to watch right now.
A favorite flyer to
Yeah.
watch right now? Well, obviously it's the goaltenders. You know, he shares something with you with the two goalies, Elliott and Hart. Elliott is 35 years old and Hart is only 21. There's no competition. And this, it takes me back when I played for Toronto, and Jacques Plante was 41 years old. I was 25. There was no competition, and he was playing so well. So I asked him one day, he used to be my idol, still is. And I asked him, can you help me? He said, of course. And this is how I learned the the basics of goaltending, facing left-hand shot, right-hand shot, or whatever. And this is a situation we have in Philly, which is fantastic.
Very good. Lauren, what else?
Of all of your accomplishments, what are you the most proud of? Would it be the Stanley Cup, being on the cover of Time Magazine?
Well, go ahead. I'm listening. Tell me. Well, you know what? I'm proud of when I was 17 years old, okay, living in Montreal, and I got drafted by the Boston Bruins at the time. And Boston Bruins farm team was in Niagara Falls. Okay, so I had to go in the fall. I had to go to Niagara Falls. I couldn't speak English. I picked up my suitcase. I got on the train by myself when I went to Niagara Falls. How about this? And a lot of people have asked me, said, why did you make the decision? Why did you stay with it? And the reason is because a vision. Everybody has to have a vision to make you function. And my vision was to play in the National Hockey League, and I was willing to do anything to get there. So that was very important for me at that when I was 17 at that age to make the right decision.
Very good.
One of the most common questions constantly involves Pelly Lindbergh. So is there a good story that you have about him that you could share with us?
Definitely. Pelly, I loved him. He told his dad, that I was his dad here in the States. And I worked with him. I remember the 1 year he wasn't playing that well. And I even asked Keith Allen, the manager at the time, I said, why don't we take him to the minors? And I would go with him and spend a month with him in the minors, which I did. Rode the bus with him and the whole bit. Then he came back, played well. The beauty about this is the following year, he had a fantastic year. And I'll never forget, I was in Toronto at the time doing that was a big announcement who won different trophies, right, in front of 1,000 people. And I stood on the podium, right, and I had an envelope, and it had 3 names. Possible of winning the Vezina Trophy. I opened the envelope, and it was Pelly Lindbergh. It was so beautiful. And I have a picture in our house right now with me presenting him the trophy, and that will share the rest. Yeah.
Let's see here. Who was your favorite teammate?
Oh, all my defensemen. No, I could mention 1 or 2, but that's it's not right. We had the forwards were awesome too; they were great players. But the defensemen we had, it was one little family we had there, and it was very important because we helped each other in front of the net. Yeah.
Dad, what do you got on your end?
I'll tell you, we've covered quite a few things. I know Bernie is likes to get a message out there to the fans. Quite often, the past couple of weeks, he's he's gone live and spoken to his fans, and I just want to give him the opportunity right now, to share his thoughts on the current day and what we need to do to stay together. Bernie, it's all yours.
Oh, thanks. Good, good question. And the message is, I touched on it a little bit earlier. It's very, very simple. You have to have a vision, okay? And what I mean with this here, with the vision, is the players, the fans, their vision is the Flyers and the Stanley Cup. That's what you go to watch the games for. It's very, very important because, I relate this to, if you get in the car, for an example, you start the car, but you have no place to go. What do? You turn it off and go back inside. So life is the same way. You have to have a vision. If you don't, you're going to go in circle all your life. So this applies also with families, jobs or whatever. And right now, the vision is for me is to stay healthy and help people as much as I can if we're in that situation. But the main thing right now is to stay healthy. Okay. And once once you reach that point, then you start visualizing what you're going to do once this craziness goes away. And then what it does is then you use your imagination. You know, imagination, like I said, it's a beautiful tool. You know, you whatever you want to do when this crisis is over, it gives you a lot of time to think about what you want to do, and don't be scared. Go for it. And I want to share one little thing here with you guys. I remember when I played for Toronto. Okay, I played there for 2 years, 1971, 1972. And I remember when the World Hockey League came in. Think about this. Very, very important, powerful message here. And one night at the end of my second season with Toronto, I received a phone call from the World Hockey League, who were going to compete against the National Hockey League, and asked me if I would join them. And I thought about it for a couple of days, and I called them back and I said, of course, because I knew if it didn't work out, I would go back to the National Hockey League. Well, it didn't work out. Think about this now. So I went back to, the rule was you had to go back to your original team, which was Toronto at the time. And the day I got back to Toronto, that's the day Toronto traded me to the Flyers. And the following 2 years, we won 2 Stanley Cups. Think about this. If I would have played it safe and stayed in Toronto, right, I would have never played in Philly in those 2 years when they won the Stanley Cup. So what I'm telling the people, be careful, but when the time is right, take the risk, folks, and have the vision, take the risk. Is it scary? Yes. Will you get criticism? Of course. By the way, if you don't get criticized, it's because you're doing nothing. So keep this in mind. You know, move on, follow your vision, and beautiful things will happen.
Well, thank you for taking that risk for all us Philadelphia fans.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks.
Absolutely. Lauren, any last minute questions for Bernie?
Mark is wondering how you think you would fare against playing against the players today.
You just scared the hell out of me here. You know, they're all shooting at over 100 miles an hour, and the play is so open. Definitely, the system I played wouldn't apply to the way they're playing today. I would have to come up with something else because you know, the old days. For an example, the old days you could study your defenseman, okay, and you would know where the play would go depending if it's a left-hand shot, right-hand shot. Today you can't do this because players are in constant motion all the time, and it's very difficult to play that style. But I'm sure I would adjust to the new style. Yeah, definitely.
Very cool. Very cool. Anything else?
I mean, yeah, we got a couple more if you wanna, if you're good with that.
Hey, let's do it.
Yeah.
Right. Someone wants to know what your favorite arena to play in was.
I have 2. Okay, the first one is Philly. Right? In Philadelphia, I love those fans. Oh, I love them so much. It's incredible, and always will. And I have 2 other rinks. One, I played well. I really played well. The other one, I couldn't stop a balloon. Think about this. The one where I played well was in New York because it's a crowd of reaction, a lot of noise, you know, and that's what makes you play better. And but the second one is in Detroit. I remember playing in Detroit. It was real quiet. There was no emotion, you know, very quiet. And I think my goals against was 7 goals against in Detroit for all the games I played there. And even it was so bad at one time that even the players within the dressing room, our players, would bet against me on how long it would last the game. So just to show you that in Philly, and don't stop, folks, keep up the good work. You know, we get a good cooperation from the fans. It helps us to win a lot of games.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we have a real interesting question here. I'm going to read it word for word from Brian. who came up with the idea of you and Clark carrying the cup together? I know it's usually the captain, but he loved the fact that you joined Bobby in carrying the cup.
Well, it was Bob, because I had no intention, intention, but we had just one, and there was the whatever the captain would skate around, with the cup. And Bobby came up to me and said, they called me Ben at the time. They said, "Come on, Ben, carry the Stanley Cup with me." So that was a beautiful thing. Loved it.
Well, you were a big part of them winning the Stanley Cup. If you weren't in goal, come on.
Yeah, we don't win.
Can you share a little bit more? I love what you just said. You know what? Everybody has a job to do.
Right.
Like anything else. You have goaltenders, you have defensemen, you have forwards, coaches, the whole bit. And if you have talent and everybody's doing their job, good things will happen. And you know what? With me today, well, to end by this, I have to share this with you. Not I have to, I want to, is I believe in universe. I asked my God that I called it universe. And I ask him, and if you ask, then leave it alone. All the details belong to the universe. All you have to do is move forward, and things and situation will happen around you that it just will amaze you. It's incredible. Beautiful way to live. Yeah.
Very nice. Very cool.
But by the way, what do you, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I have a quick question for Carl and Susan. What have you guys been doing to keep busy? Because obviously this has affected you guys tremendously.
Well, there's no facial marks or anything, so we've been okay so far.
I'm able to work from home. So I'm Monday to Friday. I have my full-time job. I work from home. I have everything set up here.
Oh, good for you. Lucky you. Okay.
So I work from home.
Now, you look happy when you're saying this. Now, where is Carl as you're doing this at home? Is he on someplace?
He does go to the shop. It's closed, but he tries to sell stuff on the internet, and then he has to pack it up and ship it out. Tries to do his stuff on the internet now. So he does leave between like 9 and 4, and then I get him.
Oh, good.
Stir the pot. Go ahead, Benny. Stir the pot. Go ahead. You're doing a good job.
You know what? I love that, man. Carl, I love you, buddy. You're good. You help a lot of athletes, and you're a beautiful person. So keep up the good work.
You guys have a beautiful family. You guys are,
Mm-hmm.
You guys are really awesome to work with, and not only that, but we've become friends through the years, and it's been something very special. You guys are really special.
That's what's unique about this whole thing. There's part of business. There's money involved, but it's the friendships and it's the character of the friendships, that you develop. You know what I mean? I've been friends with this guy for 25 plus years. You know what I mean? And it's just, I wouldn't want it any other way. There's nobody else that I could call up on a Friday night and say, hey, you want to get on the podcast? And, maybe it'll go through, maybe it won't. You know what I mean? We have no frigging clue what we're doing. You know what I mean? So, here we are.
You know what? Those questions did enter my mind, by the way. Yeah.
We don't have a clue.
I love you.
We figure it out on the fly, right?
Hey,
just like we did tonight.
You know what we've been doing for an hour? Think about this. We express ourselves, we laugh, and we had fun. Yep. And that's what I'm talking about. And the virus is still out there, but we have to be careful. But look at the fun we had. So be creative, folks, and have fun. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Yep. John O'Brien.
Yes.
What do you want to do?
Well, we got a birthday cake for somebody.
Ooh. All right.
Yeah,
Don't set our page on fire.
Oh, I won't.
That was earlier.
Hey.
So
wait, don't ask me to blow the candles, will you?
No, Stu's going to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll sing happy birthday.
So this is for Bernie's birthday last week and Stu's birthday today. So we're going to give a bad rendition of happy birthday.
Oh,
I mean,
Jesus.
really bad.
Yep,
Really, really bad.
gonna be
So,
good.
you ready, guys?
1, 2,
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Bernie. And you. Happy birthday to you.
You know what? I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared. We could have had our party hats on. That would have been really.
Oh. John, how did you blow those candles out?
It's a trade secret.
Ah.
and by the
You
way,
didn't move at all.
by the
No,
way,
I didn't do it. We have help from the one who created the cake, Kyle.
Oh, I see one. I see one. Yep.
Say happy birthday.
huh?
Happy birthday.
Lauren,
They make fun of me when I say birthday, so
Oh, that's
it's a
good.
Philly thing.
So that's John's twin boys.
Yes.
That
I
are
would-
involved there.
oh,
So-
cool. I'd like to say one thing to Lauren. Where is she?
She's there.
See your face, Lauren. Where are you?
Right here.
See your face. Where are you? Okay, that's all right.
Right here.
I just want to tell you, you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank
And-
you.
Keep creating, keep showing your beautiful smile, and you take after your parents. You're beautiful human.
Thanks. Bernie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jeannie, thank you. Bernie, thank you. I apologize for the glitch at the beginning, but we made the best out of it.
Absolutely.
Love you guys. Have a good
We made
night.
the
All right,
best out of it.
guys.
Bye. Thanks, guys. Great seeing you guys.
Yep.
All right, have a
stay
good
safe,
Easter.
Stay strong, and we'll see you on the other side.
Correct. Happy Easter.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We'll see you now.